What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the top 3 biggest disappointments at Xbox Game Showcase. So, I actually really enjoyed the Game Showcase. I don't want this to come across like, oh my god, it was god-awful. I do think there were some mistakes made, some smaller things like that, so we are going to discuss that. At the same time, again, I do want to make it clear, I liked a lot of it. In fact, the last video on Podcast Now before this one, I talked about the top 5 kind of biggest things that I loved about it. So, definitely don't look at this as a super negative thing, but I do want to address some of the things that I thought were a little bit disappointing. Really quickly, before I jump in, I want to promote my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. The link for it will be in the description below if you guys have not yet checked it out. Please do. I talk about a lot of things, some things that I can't talk about here, right, or some games, movies, all the kind of stuff that you see from me here. I do a lot of the same stuff and also different stuff on that channel. So again, the link for it will be in the description below. All right, really only 3 things. I like top 5s. I think 5 is a nice number, so I was thinking of doing that, but when I was writing them down, I was like, you know what? Really, there's not much, or a lot of these I can maybe combine into one specific thing, you know what I mean? I don't want to kind of stretch it out and make a 5 list if I can only come up with, not as many as that. So there's not all that many, honestly, but here we go. I guess we will kind of go in order. So number 3 is Elden Ring. Now, I mean, you could say, oh my god, Alex, what the heck? I mean, Elden Ring is a game that I think a lot of people were very much anticipating. Obviously, as we got closer, even like Jeff Grubb kind of set the record straight, I think on like Tuesday or Wednesday, and said like, hey, it's not happening. Like, definitely it's not going to be there. So obviously that's upsetting to some. I understand that. Elden Ring is a game I'm really anticipating, and I've said it before, I'm not the biggest fan of the Souls games. I respect the heck out of them, but I'm just flat out not good at any of them. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, like all of these games, I'm absolutely atrocious at. But again, I really do respect these games to death. So I want Elden Ring. It's been a while since we've seen it. Obviously announced last year at Xbox's E3, so it's been a full year, and these games tend to come out every 2 years. I don't think that's going to happen this time. Like, obviously, I don't think that they're going to be able to fit that in. But with that being said, I don't think it's all that far off, and I do think at some point in the relatively near future, we do see this game. I know I made a video talking about, will it be at this Xbox Game Showcase? A lot of people were talking about, is it possible that it's there? Does suck that it's not there. Again, this is number 3 because, like, I kind of, as the days were going on, I was kind of expecting it to not be there, so I wasn't going to, completely, lose my mind, right, because this game wasn't there. But definitely is a disappointment. Number 2 is the releases and things like that. The fact that there was really next to no release dates, no talk of the very near future, I would say. Just kind of how they handled dates and even announcements of things later down the line. So here's what I thought. So again, that's kind of like a very broad thing, but because it's so broad, I was able to put it into kind of one category. Look, games like Fable, I absolutely adored seeing it, okay? In fact, I made the list yesterday of the top 5 games that were there. I love that. I love seeing Avowed. Avowed looks so good. I mean, the potential for that game, right? That's a massive, there's no way around it. That's a massive win for Microsoft. With that being said, we didn't get anything. Like, at the end, it would say, the systems that it's going to be on, and that's it. Now, Fable, that's years away. Like, there's no way that game is coming out for at least 2 more years. Same thing with Avowed. I really think Avowed is going to take at least 2 more years as well. So really, 2 of the biggest, I would call them the biggest. Honestly, I mean, Halo Infinite, obviously you got that, but I would say after that, a lot of games that they announced are actually coming to other consoles, or they're coming, to Xbox first and then other consoles. So I would say the biggest things, the biggest games announced, even like State of Decay, you can throw that in there too. Honestly, that's just not something that speaks to me. I've never been a fan of State of Decay. That trailer is not a representation of what the game actually is. I mean, the game looks nothing like the trailers that they show, so I don't necessarily love them doing that. But even State of Decay, we don't know when the heck that game is coming. Now, I believe the last one came out in 2018, right? So maybe that game could come out in 2021. That's definitely possible. But we have a lot of games that just didn't show when it's coming out. And honestly, a lot of them, I can only assume that they're not coming out for a while. So again, while I loved a lot of it, when you look at like specifically exclusive to Series, like, why do I need to get a Series X? Well, one of the biggest ones is Fable. Another biggest one is Avowed. Both of them, you're not going to be able to get probably for another 2 to 3 years, and we don't even know, right, because of the release. So that's an issue. Games like The Medium, which we know are kind of soon, Hellblade, which we know is kind of soon, no release. We don't know. We don't even know a area. Is it coming out in the fall? Is it coming out in the spring? Is it coming out next summer? We don't know. Halo Infinite, I mean, that one, okay, we know it's probably coming out in November, probably like the same week or a week before the Xbox Series X. But again, you could have at least said fall. They didn't say, or like holiday, right? They didn't say anything. So games that are close, they didn't give, any kind of, even like a PlayStation did. I mean, with Miles Morales, they talked about it. Now, here's the deal. The thing is, at these conferences, they don't always do it. Sometimes the release or the release window, so I do want to make this clear, sometimes the release window of games are often talked about afterwards, right? There's developer interviews, there's all these companies giving statements, and sometimes you'll get them to say when it's coming out. You won't always get that in the reveal. So with that being said, I mean, I'm recording this like an hour after the showcase ends. This video is going up obviously right this morning, right, Friday morning. So I'm trying to make it as close as I possibly can to when the reveal happened. It's very possible that maybe these companies have come out and Avowed has said, hey, we aren't coming out for quite a while. Or Fable, they've come out and they said, we're not coming out for a while. But maybe like The Medium, they said, yeah, you know what, we're really looking at a December, January kind of thing. I mean, that, again, that can happen. That has happened before. Happened even with the PS5 reveal. There were some games there that got somewhat releases or didn't get next to anything. But then even like Horizon, right? We didn't know necessarily that was 2021. We could predict it was 2021, but then they confirmed it a few days later in a video on their own YouTube channel, right? So that's what you have to look to over the next couple days. I'm sure we may get answers for some of these games. It was just a little upsetting because you see these games, a lot of them looked really, really good. I want a lot of the games that we saw. So again, I'm not saying this is not a terrible thing. These are not the worst things in the world. I'm not saying this showcase was a piece of garbage. I want a ton of the games shown at the showcase. I also just I'm a guy who likes information. You know what I mean? I kind of want to see things coming. I'm a big fan of like schedules. You know what I mean? And seeing things further away. So I would have just preferred to see some release dates, release windows, release years even for some of these games, and we didn't get it. Number one, this is probably going to upset people. I predicted that the Halo Infinite video yesterday would get destroyed. Again, when I'm recording it, it's not, so I'm very pleased with the reception of it. But is Halo Infinite, okay? My biggest disappointment of Xbox Game Showcase is Halo Infinite. So again, if you want to leave the dislikes, totally cool. I do want to, again, make it clear, I'm getting this game day one. I'm still excited for it, and I'm not saying it was bad. Again, just like with all these things, I'm not saying anything at the showcase was necessarily bad, just disappointing. With Halo specifically, again, I want the game day one. I wanted to leave the showcase thinking, my God, Halo's back, but not only is it back, it's different than ever, it's taking it to the next step, and it's better than ever, okay? I truly wanted to feel that. And again, I've seen people, even people that watch all the videos on this channel, they say, you know what, no, it's exactly what I want. I wanted to go back to old-fashioned Halo. I wanted it to go back to its roots. It did it, and it sold me. That's awesome. I completely, and again, I've said it, I think that's a thing that they obviously had in mind, right? With what they did with the last Halo, they obviously talked about it, and they said, you know what do people really want? Well, maybe they want us to kind of just, soft reboot. Let's really go back to the nostalgia of like the first Halo, right? Or even like the first 3 Halos. So I get it. So I'm not saying, again, it's a bad decision. For some people, it's going to work. And again, I've seen a lot of people on this channel say, you know what, it did work. For me, it just didn't. And that's just my opinion. It's totally cool. I liked, I think I enjoyed the gameplay. It was more Halo. And that's the best way I can describe it. What we saw was more Halo gameplay, and that if that's fine by you, that's fine by you. If it's not, it's not. And ultimately for me, I just wanted to see something kind of different. And again, I will admit, I don't necessarily even know what I had in mind. Okay, so you could say, well, like, if you don't even know what you're expecting, how could you judge it? I mean, I get that. I just wanted to kind of be surprised. I wanted to be blown away. And what I ended up getting was just, again, it was just kind of a repeat of past games. Again, is that going to work for some people? Absolutely. And also, the stuff we've heard about the game since then, again, there's been more information of Halo since I even recorded that video. This is the last Halo for an extraordinarily long time. They aren't making, this is kind of like the Destiny thing for Bungie. Like, they're sticking with this Halo. It's going to be constantly updated. There's going to be additions. It's going to be very different than the past Halos we've experienced because they're done. Like, after this, we're probably not getting another one for a very, very long time. I'm going to predict probably 6. I don't think we'll get another one on the Series X. Let's say that. I think it's going to take another 6-7 years. Maybe the next generation of consoles, they'll give us another one. But this is it for a while. So even that, I'm not a big, again, if you like that, that's totally cool. And there are people that like that. For me personally, that's not my cup of tea. I don't want to play Destiny 2 for 5 years. I'd actually prefer, and I would buy, by the way, a Destiny 3. So when they tell me, it would be too much work to make a Destiny 3, so we're just going to keep doing Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, that's just not something that jives with me. Halo, honestly, it is kind of the same thing. Like, we're going to focus on Halo Infinite. It's going to be kind of a hub for future things in this world, and we're not going to make another Halo. For me, that just doesn't work. That's just me. Again, I'm going to buy the game. So actually, they don't even have to sell me on it. I've already kind of sold myself. I already told myself, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get this game. But at the end of the day, gameplay, not enough. Not seeing the multiplayer, that was kind of disappointing. I wanted to see the multiplayer. Again, the stuff we've heard about this game afterwards, just not enough for me. Again, I think that makes it bad. Did I hate what we saw? No, absolutely not. But I'm just a little disappointed at it, okay? So guys, let me know in the comments below. Talked about a lot of things. Let me know your thoughts. What are some disappointments you thought about the event? Some things that weren't there. Some things maybe they didn't show well enough for you. What are some things you liked about it? Again, maybe go back and watch the video from yesterday. It didn't get notifications, so if you guys haven't checked it out, please do. Again, a video talking about my top 5 favorite things that were there. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And like I said in the beginning, check out my second channel, Podcast Now Plus. Subscribe there if you have not yet already. Truly do appreciate your guys' support, and I hope to see you all on the next video.